Hey, I would like to introduce the latest game from Bruin Games, Bastogne Breakout. It's about the Battle of the Bulge during World War II. This is the display of the splash screen. Menu choices are displayed with language options. The next screen is the scenario options. We are playing the introduction as the Germans against the AI. After we start the game, the Germans are given a choice of cards to play. In this case, they can choose 4 or 5 available. The effect of these cards are explained by hovering over the cards with the mouse. An overview of the scenario is displayed. Left-click with mouse to start the game. The Allies have played the card to blow a bridge on their first turn. The German cards for this turn are displayed. The Germans play the extra ammo card. They also play the Sorny card to defuse the dynamite for the potential blown bridge. The screen can be panned using the mouse. It can also be zoomed in and out by using the mouse wheel. Up on the left corner is the Help button. Left-click on it to expand and see all the functions available. At the top of the screen is the turn and phase display. The first phase for the Germans is limber artillery. All eligible units will be highlighted. Left-click to change them from fire or move mode. Left-click will also show the range they can fire. Place all artillery that can fire and bombard enemy units in fire mode. For artillery, the first number on the bottom is bombard strength. The second number is movement allowance. When done, left-click on the next phase button at the bottom right to go to the movement phase. All units that can move will be highlighted and issue a click. For non-artillery units, the numbers on the bottom are attack factor, defense factor, and movement allowance. Left-click on a unit and its movement possibilities will be highlighted. Yellow mobile assault icons will appear where it can overrun an enemy unit. If the icon is clicked, 3 windows will be displayed. The combat results table, the combat effects table, and in the case of a stack of units, the selection window. To cancel a move or mobile assault, just left-click outside highlighted area. To initiate the mobile assault, select all the units in the stack that will attack and click the OK button on the window. The mobile assault will now be attempted. Combat resolution is through a dice roll. Results are calculated and presented. Left-click on the results screen to complete the assault. If movement allowance is available, the units can continue movement and also making mobile assaults. Right-clicking on a stack of units will rearrange the order of the stack, bring another unit on top. We will now mobile assault again to open the road to Bastogne. This will allow the Recon Regiment of the 2nd Panzer to enter Bastogne. We will now move our infantry units in position to attack the enemy. We won't use mobile assault, but instead will attack in the combat phase. After movement is complete, left-click the next phase icon at the lower left corner. It is now the German barrage phase. The AI will target the bombardment for the Allies. All possible targets for the Germans will have a crosshair icons placed on them. Left-click on a bombardment icon to bring up the bombardment results table, bombardment effects table, and the bombardment unit selection. Adjust the units selected for bombardment by clicking on the units. When satisfied, click on the OK button on the window. The crosshairs will be overlaid with a cannon symbol. Finish bombardment selection and left-click on the next phase icon to start the bombardment. The program will display animation and results of the bombardments in sequence. Hover mouse over the results to see effects. Left-click on the next phase icon. The next phase will be the combat phase. All enemy units that can be attacked will be overlaid with the red attack icon. Left-click on the icon to start the attack. Attacking units will be highlighted. The combat results table and the combat effects table will appear. Also, an attack and cancel icon will be added. Left-click on units that will be attacking. Each unit on the attack will have a yellow band placed on it. When complete, left-click on the attack icon. Combat resolution is through a dice roll. Results are calculated and presented. Left-click on the results screen to complete the assault. The AI will retreat units. If units can advance, left-click on the attacking units to designate it for advance. Advance hexes will be highlighted. Left-click on the hex to advance unit to that hex. Left-click outside of attack area to end the advance. The advance must be ended before we can go to next combat. When combat is complete, left-click on the next phase icon. The next phase is the exploitation phase. All mechanized units that did not move in the previous movement phase can now move and mobile assault. In this case, we will exploit with the Panzerlehr to break through. The supply phase is next. Notice that some of the movement allowance and attack factors have been reduced by play for the units. To bring them back to full strength, the units must be brought in supply. 3 supply trucks are available. Left-clicking on one will highlight all hexes where it can be placed. The mouse will reflect the supply unit. All units that can be supplied will be highlighted. Place the supply truck where it can supply the most units. Make sure to keep the advanced units in supply. This is a critical part of the game for the Germans. The AI will now take over. First, it will limber and unlimber all the artillery. Then it will calculate and move all the Allied units. Next is the Allied bombardment phase. If ammunition is available, the Germans can designate bombardments. The AI will designate it for the Allies. If the AI has attacks, the next phase will be the Allied combat. This is automatic. But the German player must left-click on the combat result display to continue the game. After combat, it is the Allied supply phase. Note the Allied supply source is in Hofelize. The AI handles the supply for Allies. It is now the next turn. The weather is calculated. Allied air power is determined. When ready, click on the next phase icon to begin the German limber artillery phase. The German aim is to keep units that can bombard the enemy in fire mode. All other will be put to movement mode to aid on the breakthrough. Left-click on next phase to start German movement phase. The Germans have 4 objectives at this stage. Clear the town of Edelbruck. This will allow access to the southern road, which is vital to meeting Allied reinforcements. Set up the attack on Wiltz. Wiltz must be captured to win this scenario. Next is clear the northern highway to Bastogne. This road is vital for supply. Last is to occupy the Allied supply source at Hofelize. This will cut off Allied supply. Next phase is German bombard. AI has completed targeting. Target the Allied units in range. It is now combat. The Germans make attacks to achieve their objectives. The Germans have no units eligible for exploitation. German supply, again try to resupply as many units as possible. If not all units are possible, make sure to supply units that are vital to winning. The AI will now limber and move units. The next barrage phase is completed. There were no barrages in range. Left-click on next phase. The Allies are out of supply. The next turn starts. The Allied AI has played the patent pray for good weather card. The Allies receive 5 air units to be used for bombardments. The Germans play the Hufeleise supply dump. They can use Hufeleise as a supply source when activated. The Germans unlimber their artillery to use for the next bombardment. The Germans move their units to attain their objectives. They also use units to protect the approaches to Bastogne. Both sides use the next bombardment phase to pound their enemies. The Allies used their air power during this phase. The Germans used the combat phase to take Wiltz. They clear the southern road access. They also clear the northern main road. The Germans have now taken their objectives. They need to maintain them and expand on them. During the German supply phase, the first truck must be used to activate the Hofelize supply dump for this turn. Place the truck to stop the supply dump strobing. Once it stops strobing, it can be used as a supply dump. Unfortunately, if the first truck is cancelled, the supply dump cannot be used this turn. The Allied reinforcement now enter the game. There are 3 entry points for the reinforcements. The AI might spend some time calculating the entry order and moves for the reinforcements. Both sides now do the barrage allocation and bombardments. The AI now initiates combat and attacks the Germans. Allied supply now has 3 new centers based on the reinforcement entry. This is the end of our preview of Bastogne Breakout Scenario 1. Thank you for watching.